Welcome to our Rocket and Raygun Awards, everybody. You know, fighting games have been a huge staple of the video game industry for, well, since they started. And that's why it's important for us to give an award away to the best fighting game of 2016. We've got 5 nominees to talk about here. I know you're all thinking Street Fighter V. That is, of course, one of the nominees, but so is Pokkén Tournament. I don't know why they don't call it Pokkén Tournament, because it's Pokemon. We've got King of Fighters XIV. We've got Naruto Shippuden 4 Ultimate Ninja Storm, as opposed to regular Ninja Storm. And we have Dragonball Xenoverse 2. And I know those are a couple of weird choices when you're just stacking them up against regular fighting experiences. But I think combat is their main deal, so they are worth being included in this conversation. I know that Jose is going to say, what the shit, why is there no WWE 2K17, right? You're missing that.
Exactly.
And UFC 2 could probably be in there as well. And then there are lots of diehards out there that love Guilty Gear, and they had a good Guilty Gear game this year as well. I think these 5 kind of represent a sort of traditionalist look at fighting experiences, and also one that's a little bit more story-based and license-based with the Naruto and Dragon Ball titles. But Steve Tilley, what are your thoughts here on these fighting experiences?
You know what? I've never seen or read any of the Naruto stuff at all. We've had to review so many of these shitty games that I feel like I'm really immersed in the universe. So I actually kind of like the Naruto games, but I'm not even sure why we're having a discussion here. I mean, obviously, Street Fighter's legacy is unquestionable. Street Fighter V is amazing and super slick. I'm a little sad that we're not seeing Dead or Alive games still. I don't know if is there another Dead or Alive game coming?
I think they released Dead or Alive 5 again last year. But they released that like 5 times or 6 times in different variations. They're taking a page from the Street Fighter playbook and re-releasing.
Guys who loves, and not just for the obvious reasons, but the 2 obvious reasons. I really like the Dead or Alive game. But I mean, Street Fighter V unquestionably is the top of the heap here.
It had a lot of problems this year. It had a kind of a messy launch, Street Fighter V, and that's why there is some pretty good competition. Like the always online play with it was a bit of a bit bogus. You wouldn't be earning your money as you were playing it. There was a kind of a terrible sort of character story mode thing in there, but there wasn't really, which was just like hand-drawn still images. It just looked really cheap. It looked like they weren't finished.
Have a category for worst launch of an online-only game. You know, that seems to be the thing that's plagued so many people. But I mean, it's kind of all smoothed out now, right? I mean, we're all getting our Street Fighter on, so it's tough because you can't. You can't overlook those kinds of problems at launch. But again, I mean, I don't play a lot of fighting games, and if I'm going to play a fighting game that's not the one with the big bouncy boobs, it's going to be.
What about King of Fighters 2014, Foobs? You got any thoughts on this list? Were you a fan of King of Fighters 2014?
I'm not a really big King of Fighters fan myself, but I did like how it keeps that old school style look of fighting games. You know, the traditional sort of 2D, like old graphic look, and it's not going over the top. It doesn't try to be something, and it's not. It sticks with that King of Fighter style that is familiar to a lot of people who've been playing King of Fighter for a while. Even the Naruto Shippuden games. I mean, those games look like bananas. Like when you see those games in comparison to the anime, and just the level of detail that goes into some of the crazy shit that these characters do, like 70-hit combos. Like, they throw these giant fireballs and everything starts exploding.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's happening, but you're pushing buttons and awesome things happen. You feel like you're awesome.
Well, Bandai Namco really celebrates those games too when they release them. Like I got a Steelbook Ultimate Edition when they sent me a copy of the thing. Thank you very much, Bandai Namco. And
nice.
You know, like they love
code.
They love that property though, and they don't squander it, you know. And then they kind of let you have the interactive, sort of expression of the game. Like they reach for how big it gets in the animated show, and they say, well, play that, you know. So you can play as these giant beasts getting into a battle that are supposed to be representational of the magic powers that each of these characters have. And it's kind of awesome, you know. It's really kind of hard to put it down and say, well, this is just for the kids, or this is just for the super fans. When you play stuff like that, it's like, well, this is crossing over. This is really fun stuff. And I felt that a lot with both the Dragon Ball games and the Naruto games. I don't watch the anime, but I play these games. I'm like, well, these are damn cool. There's no disputing it. Ben, you got a favorite in this list?
Bandai. Can I finish?
Oh, sorry,
my
you didn't finish.
Can I
Jose.
get to where I was talking about, Victor
Sorry.
Lucas? I know you get so tired. All these anime characters with their crazy hair bringing you life lessons about how to spike your hair in different ways.
That's where I learned it.
Namco definitely pays attention to their Dragon Ball and Naruto franchises, but Pokkén Tournament didn't really get into that because I played more Tekken 7, the arcade cabinet, because that is an amazing game. I can't wait for that to hit consoles, but of the games that are on the list, obviously Street Fighter V, even with the rocky launch, is still my favorite fighting game of the 5.
2 votes for Street Fighter V. Ben, do you make it 3?
Well, nothing against Naruto Shippuden 4, Ultimate Ninja 5, fucking Electric Boogaloo, Revenge of the Ninja. What the fuck? This list is insane. I'm sorry. There's one fighting game, really, like that is gonna win. I mean, this is a down year for fighting games. You know, obviously the delays to Tekken, no Dead or Alive. In general, also no Mortal Kombat, no new Mortal Kombat this year. In general, fighting game, you tend to get a couple franchises that stand out. Injustice 2 coming out next year. There are going to be some good fighting games coming. Street Fighter V is far and away the winning game here, but I agree with what everybody had to say about its launch. It wasn't just a disastrous launch in terms of it like not having enough content. The problem with this launch has really dogged it all year, because this is a game that Capcom envisioned as being, and they have really treated it as their next big esport. The Capcom Pro Tour was huge this year. Obviously, as an esports person, I was following it all year. We were writing stories about it all year. But they only sold, I think, 1.5 million copies at launch. And to support an esport, you need to really sell a lot of copies. It really has to get out there. And that mistake they made at the beginning of the year by ignoring the casual player and really just trying to rush it out for competitive play for the tournament has screwed it, I think, in the long term. I think you're going to see a lot of problems next year as pros. Obviously, they're getting used to it now, new DLC and new characters coming in. But this was supposed to be sort of their platform that they were going to announce all kinds of new characters on and just sort of build from. And I think that those first couple months where they didn't get sort of the broader gamer base, all the people that bought Overwatch, for instance, which is going to be a dominant esport,
right?
The 20 million people who bought that, you have a fraction of that buying the biggest new game in a much better known series. That's a really big problem. So I think it's the winner of this category, but I don't think it's a winning game this year. Yeah, well, and I don't think it ran away with this category. I think King of Fighters 2014 actually gives it a pretty good run for its money. I think it's it's definitely old school. It's definitely contained. It's definitely not as beautiful and as flashy, but it comes loaded with characters. It has a pretty funny story. It's got a pretty great
game mechanics.
Solid game mechanics that are proven over time. I've always dug the SNK, sort of slant on fighters. But you're right, Ben. This has been a kind of a lean year, and it does feel kind of strange not to have Street Fighter going up against Mortal Kombat or Tekken or both of them. But next year does look better. I will say that out of all of these 5, there's a re-release of a fighting game that was just sort of, that came into fray with the announcement at PSX, which is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's the fighting game I want to play more than anything else on this list at all. Any other fighting game, period,
I was
in
playing it
2016.
yesterday. I didn't know why it was on the list, guys.
Yeah.
It's the best
And
game
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is coming
next year.
Injustice is coming. So we're going to start to see, I think, an uptick in the fighting game scene, and it's going to be interesting to see what Capcom and Street Fighter do when you start to see these other releases coming. Obviously, Capcom owns Marvel as well, so Marvel vs. Capcom, so they can promote that. But it's going to start to get more contentious. This year was not, but it will.
And I think with Street Fighter, from what I understand, is that they're not going to do the traditional repack and resell. I think they're going to try to get people to buy the original version of the game and then buy the add-ons as they go. And so hopefully prices will come down, value will go up, and it will become that full, robust product that we all want out of a Street Fighter. It's a very solid game, Street Fighter V, and I have a lot of people, and when I asked them what their game of the year was on Twitter, I had a bunch of people say Street Fighter V is still their game of the year, but we are definitely going to give it the fighting game of the year in our Rocket and Raygun Awards. So congratulations to Capcom and Street Fighter V. Don't go away, we have many more awards to give away.